Alrighty, today I am joined on Late Night with Smitty, then CFL legend Archie Amerson. So thanks for making the time, Archie. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, and love hearing people's stories. So yeah, it's always good. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and your family as well.
All right, back at you.
Thank you. Usually I'm wearing my Late Night with Smitty hat, and I know you're a Bears fan, and I'm wearing my Chiefs hat. That since
It's all good. At least they winning.
it's true, and you know what, if you want to talk about the Thanksgiving game, I'm here for you. But
Man, we find a way to lose. We done found a way to lose like 4 games this year.
well, I mean the Washington game was
That
what
started that started the downhill, man.
that started it, right? So I mean that's it's just kind of one of those things, and that's professional sports. But that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, but that means the locker room ain't strong though, because that shouldn't happen. Just
Nope,
because you lose one game on a fluke, no way you should lose 7 in a row after that. I mean, the locker room is suspect.
yeah. No question, right? If you go back to when they made the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 41, you had the Urlachers and you had, you know,
The
the
bricks,
good
all
one,
them
Israel
guys.
Adonijah and Lance.
Yeah, Peanut.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
no,
matters, man.
yeah, totally. Good. But we could talk about that a bit later on. But yeah, just but we're here to talk about you. So from Northern Arizona.
Right.
So how did you make your way to the CFL and kind of tell the viewers a bit of that, and then we can kind of go from there.
Well, I was at Northern Arizona, and I had the Player of the Year, and I was Hula Bowl MVP and all that, but I didn't get no looks really. I got a look from the New York Giants. I went there for like the little mini camp right after the draft, but I wasn't gonna make that team. They had just drafted Tiki Barber in the second round, and back then little backs were only third down backs. You didn't get a chance to show that you was an all, you could play every play. So
Mhm.
they wanted me to do third down, punt return, kick return, but they drafted him to do that. So it was really no, I really didn't have a shot to make that team. I went there, did what I did, but even the running back coach, who was Coach Skipper, he even came to me right before, like, after the last practice. He was like, "Man, I'm about to go in here and I'm gonna try everything I can to get you to stay." And then he came back. When he had the sad look on his face, I was like, "Don't worry, you know the game." So
Yeah.
I went back home. Nobody else called. So I'm like, "Damn, man, I done put in all this work in high school, junior college, and I'm sitting at home."
Hmm.
But I still used to get up in the morning, still go work out, so just in case if anything ever happened, I can still be in shape.
Right.
So I'm sitting at home, and it's probably like a Wednesday morning or something. And Coach Axman calls me and he says, "Do you still want to play football?" And I was like, "What kind of question is that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I still want to play football. And he said, "Okay, well, Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to get your rights because like Saskatchewan have my rights.
Okay.
Saskatchewan, they have my rights." So he was like, "Well, Hamilton Tiger Cats, I know a guy on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I think he knew Mike McCarthy." And he was like, Mike McCarthy was the GM for the Tiger Cats. He was the greatest GM I've ever known. He was great at putting teams together. I still talk to him still today. So he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna call them, and then you're gonna get a call today. So it's on you now. So I'm like, okay, cool. We had watched CFL when I was a kid. It used to come on ESPN at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We used to be up late at night watching. So we knew about the CFL already. So I was like, oh man, that looks fun. Like, heck yeah, I'll go, it's another country and stuff. So I'm like, yeah. So I got a call that about 2 hours later. And the next morning I just threw some stuff in the bag and jumped on the plane the next morning.
Nice. And the rest is history, right? So
Yes, sir.
as they like to say, so you came up in '97. You had Urban Bowman as the coach, the late Urban Bowman. You had Ron Lancaster in there.
No,
So
no, Lancaster came the next year. It was
yes,
Coach Sudsy. Coach
yes,
Sutherland was the coach. My
right.
first year, was the head coach.
Yeah, I do have that written down here.
Yes.
That's right. So what were your kind of your so you're at the old Iberwin Stadium. What are kind of some of your first impressions of the CFL and the third down game and that sort of thing?
When I first got there, it was kind of they was done with camp. I came in the Tuesday after camp had ended. They was preparing for the first game. And to tell you the truth, I was like, oh no, this is kind of grimy because like when I first got to the city, they checked me into the Royal Canal, which is a famous hotel in Hamilton.
Hmm.
They checked me in, and when I first went outside, it was nothing but like gothic people everywhere and stuff. And if you know Hamilton, Hamilton's a still town, and it's kind of grimy, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, like where am I? So I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I don't know if I can do this. Like this looks kind of crazy out here. And
Right,
she
right.
was like, well, you're not coming home, so you better make it happen. So then we get to the stadium and stuff, and back then, this was before they started fixing up the stadium and stuff. So
Hmm.
like you go in there and the carpet was all messed up and people were fighting over chairs, like literally fighting over chairs because the chairs was all broke up. And man, they gave you like old socks and old t-shirts and old shorts. So you was like, dude, like you used to getting everything, I used to get everything at NAU and stuff. So
Right, right.
I was like, I don't know about this. This is like low budget.
Well, I mean, if you compare it to what the Argonauts were at the time with
Right,
Flutie and Paul Mazzotti and um, Pinball Clemens, I mean, yeah, yeah, just down from the QEW were the Ticats, but you guys were building momentum, right? So
right.
you first go to the Grey Cup here in Winnipeg in '98, and then happier times in '99. So to go to the Grey Cup in your second year and then to win it in your third year, what were kind of some of those transitions and emotions associated with that?
Well, the first year it was crazy because we went 2-16, but we probably lost games on an average of about 5 points a game. Like every game we were in, but we just didn't have an offense yet. Anthony Calvillo wasn't AC yet, so like he had a bad year that year, and so that year right there, we were always in the game. We just could never finish. So we knew we had a good team. So I was like, man, there's no way you can like keep going and losing like this. Like next year we should be good because our defense was awesome that year. We just needed a couple more weapons on offense, and that's what happened when Danny McManus and Flutie came, and then Lancaster came. So then Coach Sudsy just went to deep. He was still there as a defensive coordinator, so the defensive side was already straight. So then once they brought in, quarterback and then Flutie, and then they brought in Ronald Williams too.
Hmm.
Oh, now we ready, you know what I'm saying? So we was ready then. I'm like, okay. So we went the first year, and of course we lost on that dang last Jeff Garcia. I'm still pissed at Jeff Garcia and them. So they kicked the field goal. So but we knew going into 99, everybody knew like we're gonna win it this year. Like there was no questions asked. Like starting from training camp first day, everybody was locked in. Everybody knew like we're going back and we're gonna win it.
Well, yeah, you guys landed up winning that Grey Cup, I think, by 14 points, and yeah, you guys just went into BC Place and handled your business. And I chuckle about the '98 because I remember I made a post on my page and you mentioned the '98 game.
Man, dude, that still cuts deep because we had it. Well, we kicked the damn squib kick instead of kicking it deep. We kicked the squib kick, and in the CFL that last minute is like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So and then we played. We didn't play aggressive. We just basically gave it to them. We gave them little wide open 10-15, 10-15,
Yeah.
and then they kicked the damn field goal with no time left. So
Great.
we was sick. We was really. I was on the field probably like an hour after that game. They had to make me go in the locker room because I was on one knee out there. Like I can't believe we just lost this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely, right. And I've asked former players about this. If some losses gnaw you more than others, some people say, you know what, in the grand scheme of life, I've kind of gotten on with it. But I've I've never really played, but I can understand, right? So I mean,
Right.
the 2001 Grey Cup, for the Stamps to beat 14-4 Bombers, that was like, it's still like probably up until 2019, it was still until they
Right.
won. I mean, that was good, and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things, and that's again, as Chris Berman says, that's why you play the games.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had Winnipeg on the ropes that year too, 2001. I broke a punt. They kicked it short, and I knew it was gonna go short. And I broke a punt, and I threw a move on the kicker, and my own dude hit me and made me fumble.
you're talking about the 2001 East Final?
Yeah, we had him. We had him.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you, they kicked it short, and I went up and caught it on the bounce and broke and had a touchdown. I throw a move on the kicker, and my own player hits me and made me fumble, dude.
Yeah, I remember that game. I was in the north end zone. I was in Section P. And again, there are plays in there, but I mean, and you had Winnipeg at the right for the picking because they were stumbling down the stretch, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
I
We even
honestly,
got a damn penalty. We were on the 1 yard line, and I don't. And remember, they didn't give us the touchdown when Danny McManus did a quarterback sneak, and they didn't give us the touchdown.
yeah.
Like it was a lot of stuff that went on that game too. We should have been to a third Grey Cup.
Well, yeah, because you had the whole Tom Europe, Tom Europe making that stand there, and I think that was in the south end zone. And I really thought McManus was going to go down and tie the game there, and then we know about the Jerome Bolton interception. Uh, Again, not to bring
Yeah,
too many. We
man.
we can get on with some other stuff.
Right, right, right. But
Eh,
99 was well worth it though. We was locked in that year. There was no way. And you know how we all knew how we were gonna win that year?
How's that?
So we was in BC, right?
Yeah.
And we're staying in this hotel. And it was this damn pigeon. We would all be in the room. And there's this damn pigeon that would come to the window every day. And we was like, okay, this is our little good luck charm right here. The pigeon would come every day, same time, come to the window and just be in the window, just looking at us chilling.
Yeah, here we go, right?
Yeah. He'd be like, look, that's a sign. You know, football players, we grab on anything.
Right, right.
Like, that's a sign right there. That's a sign right there.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. It's good. For some reason, that reminds me of Home Alone 2. But anyhow,
Right.
yeah, we're getting to that time, right? It's our tradition, Christmas.
Right.
So who were some of kind of your guys that you hung out with on the, let's say, 99
It
Ticats?
was Ronald Williams, Joe Mumford,
Mhm.
Teagle, Gonzalo Floyd. That was our crew.
Right.
And then we would go to Ronald Williams' house. We would go to Orlando Steinhauer's house, who's still connected to the Ticat.
Mhm.
So we had places. We had a crew, and then we had people who were part of the crew, but they weren't always around. But we'd be at their houses.
Oh yeah.
So everybody was pretty close. Everybody was pretty close that year.
Well, and that translates to on field, right? Like if you're not
Right.
if you're not close, then that isn't really gonna necessarily translate into game winning formula, literally. So,
Right.
did you have any superstitions as a player?
Um. Only thing I did have is I didn't like socks, so I always wore tights. I didn't like long white socks, so I would always wear short white socks. And then when the referees would, or they have the guy that comes around checking uniforms,
Hmm.
when they would harass me, I would just get a white piece of tape and put it above the white socks. And the last one was I always had to have a long sleeve on. And it didn't matter the weather. And the one time I didn't wear it, it was a game we had in Hamilton where it was so hot that it knocked the power out and the game got delayed like a day or two.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
The
I can't
game?
remember who we were playing that game, but it was so hot. It knocked the power out for days. and we played. We are supposed to play on like a Saturday. I think we played on like a Monday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and, and I go to the game, and I'm like, damn, like this is the first time where it was that hot, where I was like, there's no way I could wear this long sleeve today. And I went out there and played, and I went and got in the shower. You know how you get in the shower back then, the turf stuff. You get in the shower, you knew we're burned.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like my arm is burning. Like, what's this? Why it feel like this? And a whole chunk of my arm was hanging out. I had to get like 7, 8 stitches. That was the first time and last time I ever didn't wear a long sleeve.
Holy smokes. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's actually on one of my football cards. The day I didn't have on the sleeve was on the football card.
Wild. And do you have a copy of this football card?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if I have like a half a box of them still.
Oh, nice.
That's the only card I got.
Well, since Canada Post is now back to work as of tomorrow, maybe I'll get you to send me one.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you one. Send me your address. I'll send you one. I got some.
For sure. Good, good. Awesome. What were some of your other favorite stadiums to play in the CFL?
Ooh, I love playing in Winnipeg. I love playing there.
Yeah.
Just their atmosphere is different.
Hmm.
Um, I love playing in Montreal. I can't pick between which one I like better, Montreal or Winnipeg.
Nice.
For some reason, every time I played in those stadiums, I had great games. And just their fan, it was like more of a college atmosphere than a pro.
Hmm.
Um, they're my top two, I would say. I had my best games in Ottawa though. Remember, they came a little later. I
Yeah.
liked Ottawa, but they would probably come third. And then, of course, it's home games. But it's great. Like playing in Hamilton can be worse than playing on the road because Hamilton fans don't play no games. Like they are the meanest, but they know the game, so they're not having no BS. Like you got to go and you better play your heart out, and you better not slack. You better like they hold you accountable, and the fans were right on top of you, so they'll be yelling and screaming at you like it's hard to play in Hamilton. But I loved it though.
That's good. And you talk about the college atmosphere here in Winnipeg, like talking with James Murphy, he goes, I've hardly gone to a game because I'm there to watch the game. It's there's lots of entertainment, and people will say now there's more entertainment than there was 20 years ago. They
Oh, I
got
can imagine.
they got the whole tailgate going on. You can talk to Derek Taylor, Doug Brown, all those guys in the tailgate, and we go see our cookie lady in section 228. There's your plug, Lucille, when you watch this. And
Yeah, I love playing.
it's just a fun time, and I've talked to many people that say, you know what, it's almost like the game is second nature, but the game is still serious. Uh,
Yes. And it always was packed.
yeah.
Always.
Hmm.
So I love playing there. If you came to Winnipeg or you came to Montreal, it wasn't gonna be a seat in the stands open.
Yeah. So you're on the east side. So did you get any heckling from Section S, Section T?
Man, I didn't play anywhere where I didn't get heckled. They used to heckle the heck out of me, but I played along with it. I wasn't the one that would argue and fuss with you. I
Hmm.
would be like, they'll be like, man, you suck. You can't catch and all that. And I'd be like, dang, I know, man. Like, how did I make this league? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what to do out here. So then, like, if I don't let me score or make some big plays, oh, I'm coming back like, dang, how did this sorry guy make those catches?
Yeah.
How did I score that touchdown? So I knew how to play along with it. So by the time we got to the third, fourth quarter, most of the fans be cheering. They wouldn't be talking mess no more.
Right. Well, you guys played in Winnipeg. It was the game before 9/11. Just if memory serves me right. So you played up against the Arlen Bruces, G. Roy Simons, the Steagles. Jamie Stoddard was on that team, and that was the year of the 14-4. And I do kind of recall that game kind of being a wide open, and yeah, it's just playing up. That's when the Bombers were kind of on the rise there. What did you kind of
Right.
remember about that particular game, if anything?
It was explosive. That's one thing about Winnipeg. They always kept talent.
Hmm.
So they was on the up and coming and they were hungry. And then you had Milton G. Roy on the same thing, receiving course. So you already know how that goes. But
Yes.
I don't think Roberts was there yet.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh, see, then that's man, that offense was loaded, and then they had good players on the defensive side too.
Mhm.
Like it was always exciting. I just love playing against those guys. And then after the game, we always hung with them and stuff.
Right.
So like it was no love lost. We battled it out, but after the game, we had fun too.
That's good. I mean, that's always great to hear because it is a brotherhood. You see this even in the NFL yesterday,
Right,
and Allen hugging it out, or Miles Garrett goes down and Mahomes is calling for people to come over and
right.
take
You
care of
gotta
each
have
other.
you have respect. Ballers ball, and ballers gonna always have respect for another baller.
Hmm. Totally. Who are some of your mentors that helped you during your career and people that you still look up to today?
Well, who brought their hand who put their hands around me when I first got there was Joe Mumford, it was Tigo, it was Bert Thornton, and it was Gonzo. Those were the first four guys that when I was a rookie and the rest of the team was like, oh, they was on me because I was fresh. So they had went through camp and I was fresh and hungry. So when I first got there in camp, I was full speed. Well, practice, that week of practice, I was full speed. So
Nice.
they would call me fresh legs. They would never call me my name. They'd be like, slow down, fresh legs. Slow down, fresh legs. And I'd be like, nope, you guys already got a position. I'm trying to play. And like I'm not here to be y'all practice dummy. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to play.
Right.
So I'd be out there full speed, every play, every play in every practice was a game to me. Like that was my game time. And I refused to be on, excuse me, making $400 a week on practice roster. Nah, I didn't come from San Diego all the way to Hamilton to make $400 a week.
Yeah, that's less than minimum wage.
Yeah, back then I was like, hell no, ain't no way. So I was full bore in practice. But those four right there, I
Hmm.
guess they seen the potential in me and they were like, come hang with us. So I would get rides to practice with them and hang with them. I was invited to the dinners and stuff. I felt special because I was a rookie. They didn't haze me. They didn't like make me do all kind of stuff or nothing. They just put their arms around me and was like, come with us. We'll teach you the game. We'll teach you, how to be a man off the field. Don't do all kind of stupid stuff because they were about business. They
Yeah.
weren't about partying and girls and all that. They was like, look, during the week, you go to practice, you get up early, you go to the weight room, you go to practice, you get your treatment, you do what you're supposed to do, and then we'll party after. Well, the days that you would party would be right after the game that night,
Hmm.
and the first day you had off.
Right.
And then after that, you was right back business. You might have maybe two party days a week, if that.
Oh, I mean, and again, it speaks to the results, right? So
Right.
I got to ask, did you make it up for the 25th anniversary at the
No,
time?
I did. It's hard for me to make it there. Like when I could make a trip to Canada, because it'd be like what it be is it's gonna take me a day to get there and a day to get home.
Right.
So for me to go, I gotta go for at least 5 days or something. Like it has to be like a real trip. And the trip that was gonna do was gonna be it was gonna take me a whole day to get there. Then the next day was gonna be the game, and it was gonna take. I was probably have to leave early the next morning. So it's hard for me to make that trip. So I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna get up there soon, though. I know they've been hit. They lately, they've been contacting me. So I'm gonna get up there within these next 2 years. I need to because I ain't been there since what? Shoot, 19 years now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Time.
haven't been there, so it's time to. But I need to make it a trip though. Like it need to be more than just a day. I'm
Yes.
coming all the way from Cali, man.
Right. I hear you on that. I took my kids to Labor Day Classic. Well, I grew up in Saskatchewan for a bit, so we did the tunnels, and I took them where I used to grow up, and
Right,
just the game. We got to make it worth it, right? So
right.
I totally hear you on that. So post retirement, so you retire in '04, and then how'd your life kind of look from there?
that was like the most humbling experience I've ever had in my life because my career ended. I didn't even get hurt on the field or nothing. Like my career ended. I woke up one day and my hip was like jumping. And I
Mm,
was like, what the heck is wrong? Like, so I go to the field, get treatment, and I go on the field and I'm standing there and one of the teammates bumps me a little bit, like, what's up, Archie? And bumps me a little bit, and my whole left leg catches on fire. Like it felt like somebody was torching my leg. And my toes like scrunched up. I was like, what the heck is going on? So come to find out, we found out later is that my disc, I had a bulging disc, but it usually they go out.
hmm.
Mine's went in. So
Oh,
it
shoot.
cut off the nerve. So it pinched on the nerve that controlled my calf muscle. So I lost my whole left leg. It was just skin and bones. Like all my skin was just hanging, like atrophy kicked in. So I lost my whole left leg and it took a long, so then I came home and it took like a year, 2 years to get it back. Like I trained and I started working. I came home like that and I started working for this gym called Lord's Fitness. And my friend's dad named Sam Norris, he's one of the best trainers in San Diego. He was like, look, I'll train you. And he trained me. And it was a lot of hard days. If you know Sam, he ain't no joke. He's a big, probably like 6'3" guy, probably like 240 pounds, all muscle, and he didn't play no game. So it was a lot of days where I wanted to give up, and he would be yelling and screaming like, "Do more, do more!" I'm like, "I can't," and he was not having it. It was like either do more or face me. So I would do more, and I got my leg back. So if I was 2005, I think I got my leg back by late 2006. It took a long time to build it back up, and I went and tried out for Montreal. I paid for my own ticket and stuff, and went to Montreal. It was in Carolina. I don't know if it was in North Carolina, but it was deep, deep in Carolina. Like we landed in North Carolina, I think Charlottesville Airport,
Yeah.
and it took probably like an hour in a cab just to get to where we were going. Some college like way, way in the trees somewhere. And we went there and I had a great, great workout.
Nice.
But I can't remember Jim Pop, I think it was his name. I
That
think
would
it was
make sense.
Pop was
Yep.
their GM.
100%.
And he came up to me afterwards and he was like, man, you look good and all. They said, but we just can't risk signing you because of the injury. You know, if you get hurt in camp, we have to pay you the whole year. So the injury never allowed me to get back on the field. But so it was a blessing because I come back home and I'm working. I go back to work and we was running a camp. We ran camps in the summertime to where we know people had to work and stuff. So we would run a camp at Lord's Fitness to where the kids would come in at 6 o'clock in the morning. You'd have to come get them to like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And we did that for like 2 months. So we was out there. Oh shoot! Hold on. Let me send the voicemail. Okay, and then we was running a camp and we were on the basketball court playing with the kids. Cause we would have like we had a batting cage at our gym. So we'll do baseball, we'll take them to the park and do flag football, we'll do basketball. We had all that at our gym.
Right.
So we would get the kids and we'll split them in groups and we'll do stuff like painting, everything. It was just sections. And I was out there playing on the basketball court and it came back. Like that burning feeling came back. So that's how I knew it was meant for me to never play football again. And I went through all that over again. So it probably took like, shoot, it took probably years after that. I can't even imagine. I can't even tell you how many years. But I was coaching. So I started, what happened was my brother, Dante, he was like, man, I was doing nothing. I was depressed. I was just feeling bad about life. And, like, you know how it goes. Like, why is this all happening to me? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And my brother hit me up one day in 2009. So it came back burning. 2006, it came back. So by 2009, it was better again. And I was coaching. He said, come coach with me. He wanted to be the head coach. He had been coaching already for years. And he was coaching his sons. So he was like, man, come, I'm going to be the head coach. I need you to come help me. So I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I was kind of bitter about football, how it ended and all that. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that. He was like, man, come on, man, you need to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just in the house, you're not doing nothing, woo woo. So I went out there and coached with him in 2009, and that changed my life. like being around the kids and stuff like that, it brought me out of the dark place that I was
Nice.
in. So ever since then, I've been coaching. So I'm still coaching now. So
So
it's
you're coaching in California then?
yes, I coach the kids and we do workouts for the kids. We do workouts for free every year. And we coach at my old where I played Skyline. We coach at Skyline. And this year we coached the 8 year old. So coaching was able to bring me back. And again, I go through that whole year. I'm running, I'm practicing everything. And we get to the playoffs and it comes back again. The same thing comes back again. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm coaching. Literally, you know how you got the Pilates balls?
Right.
I would have to bring a Pilates ball everywhere I went and coach on the Pilates ball. When we played the playoff, we were trying to go to the championship. We were a game away from championship. And I'm on the ground, leaned over the Pilates ball coaching.
Wow.
So and then so it came back again. So finally, I think it was either 2011 or
Mhm.
2012. I finally was able to get it done. So I went and got back surgery. They took out my L4, my L5, and S1. They took it out because it was pinching on the nerve that whole time. And ever since, I've had nerve damage in my sciatic and my left foot from my heel to my second toe has been numb since then. But I'm able to get it on. I can deal with that. As long as I didn't have that burning, as long as I didn't have the small leg, I could deal with the nerve stuff.
Right, right.
So I was, so then that was humbling because you got to remember, I probably went from making $3,000 a week to, and this is why I coach. I'll tell you why I coach.
Yeah.
And I don't coach to teach football. I coach to teach more life. Have a plan. Don't depend on football because even if you make it, you're done by 30. You still have a whole another half of life to go. And I never thought like that because I was always so good at football. I was like, I'll be a football player forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. And it didn't work out like that.
Yeah.
So when I came home, I went from making $3,000 to $8 an hour. So that was like the most humbling experience I ever had in my life to where you go from being a man to everybody loving you to now people clowning you and talking mess about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look at him. He's a has been and he's working there and he's not making nothing. But in my mental, I never cared what nobody ever said.
Right.
So I'd be like, I don't care. Like, when I'm making money though, I'm not around here begging for y'all to give me, you know what I'm saying? So that was good. So that kind of, so then when so I had to, have my daughter. So I would always know when I came home because I had my daughter November 19th. And I came straight from the airport and went straight to the hospital. So I will always remember the day I came home, November 19th, 2005, is the day I stopped playing in the CFL and the day I had my daughter.
Crazy.
So yeah, so the 2 years later, she's younger still. She loved this. This how I got back on my feet and catapult. God dang it. Her girlfriend keep calling.
Yeah.
She gonna be pissed. Like, why you keep sending me the voicemail?
Hey, it happens. I had the vacuum going on here. Our housemate is here, so or if
Yeah.
anyone heard
So
that,
I'm
I'll just say what that noise was.
right. So I can't hear her, but so how I got back on my feet, I got the back surgery and I lost, like I was small, like real small. And my daughter, we had a pool in our complex, and my daughter loved to swim. So every day she would be like, take me swimming, take me swimming, take me swimming. So I started swimming and I made up a workout to where I would swim to one side of the pool, get out, do 20 push-ups. Go to the other side, put my feet on the wall and do 20 crunches. And that was my routine. So I started doing that. And then next thing you know, all kind of kids, all kind of boys that lived in the complex, you would look up and the whole pool be full with kids. And
Nice.
they'll be doing the workout with me and stuff. So that's how I got back on my feet. And one day I used to go over to my cousin. My brother used to come pick me up sometime. And I used to go to my cousin's house. And then one day I went over there. And when I used to sit down and get up, it would hurt. Like, and I went over there and I sat down and I got up. I was like, oh, like my body feels different all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started working again. I got back on my feet. My one of my older relatives, his name is Clifford Glad. And my dad, they were working at my Clifford owns the company, and my dad was helping him run it. And I started working there. I started doing security. And I got back on my feet, and I started as soon as I got back on my feet, I started working again. I was doing security. And, same thing. People see me doing security everywhere, and I know a lot of people around San Diego. So people
Mhm.
like, oh, you doing security, but I don't care. Like the stuff I had went through just to be back on my feet, I was happy.
Right.
Like I don't care what I'm making. I'm back active. I'm back working. I'm back in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I got my stuff back together. Went and bought me a car and stuff, and then I worked, and then to where I'm at now, the YMCA in San Diego, the YMCA has programs for like foster kids, homeless kids,
Mm,
group home kids, like that.
yes.
It's not just the gym.
Right.
And I was working at a complex at the YMCA. They bought the whole complex, and they were going to fix the complex up and move kids in from eight. Well, they're not kids, young adults from 18 to 25, and they called it a transitional program. So those kids that grew up like that have a place to come, live. For you, if you do right, you can live there for 7 years, and they help you save money and everything. And then when you leave, they give you half your money back. You pay rent. You got to go to school or work. If you go to school or work, you can stay there until you're 25. If not, you got to go by 21. So I was doing security there, but nobody was living there yet. It was an empty complex. In Escondido was an empty complex. And I just did security there for like 2 years. And then they started moving the young adults in. And a lot of the young adults were from where I'm from, like my neighborhoods that surround my neighborhoods. So every day it'd be like 5, 6 kids out there talking to me. They would be in a circle, and they would just be out there talking to me. And the people from the YMCA was like, wait, hold on. Like, why young adults like you so much? I would give them game. Like, I would always tell them, like, look, don't ever give up. Just go get you a job. Like, start. I would be on them about not doing nothing. And so, like, a lot of them would do jobs. A lot of them would start going to school. And so the YMCA seen that I was making a difference, and they offered me a job. Like they didn't want security anymore because they had got gay. They had moved everybody in, so they didn't need it as much anymore.
Mhm.
So they asked me if we got a position for you, would you come work for us? And I was like, heck yeah. So that's how I got my job now, to where now I got the benefits, and I double my salary, and so life is getting better year by year now.
I mean, that's so good to hear, right? And yeah, it's about life lesson. We've
Right,
learned it here for the hockey team, and I know our local coach here. He cares about more about not he cares about the on ice, but he cares way beyond like post secondary education
yeah,
and
that matters.
everything. And yeah, if I look back at some of the players, I mean, you can go to the NFL too, and
Right,
some people are living on the streets and some people are successful.
right.
Rodney Harrison was very open about his mental health challenges after
Yeah, it ain't no
post-retirement.
joke, man.
Like, we all know about the Super Bowl 42 play with David Tyree and, playing
Right,
through that. But like these people lock themselves in in dark rooms. And it's like,
right.
okay, well, yeah, everybody wants to know your name and everything else. And there has to be that plan. And some people do it
Yeah,
better than others.
it has to be, because if you don't, then it's gonna be a rude awakening when it's over. So I tell the kids, like, even now, I'd be like, look, if you don't want to go to college, you don't have to go to college.
Right.
Go to trade school. There's never going to be a trade that goes away. You can be an electrician. You can be a roofer. You can be a guy a plumber. That stuff is never going to fade. And
Mhm.
then what I tell them is if you look at the successful people, what they do is they start off working with it. They learn how to run it, and then they open up their own, and now they bring their people through it. So,
Mhm.
I'll teach them more. It ain't football to me. It's more to life, because I've been through it, and I know how it feels to not have a plan afterwards. So that's why I say people like, man, you still do it. You still do it. Cause like parents and stuff make it hard. Everybody now think their kids going from youth to pros. So you deal with that a lot, but I don't even care about the grown ups. Grown ups are gonna be grown ups.
Yeah.
Like I just try to get the kids in, especially when they get to high school. Like, all right, the 4 years gonna go faster than you think. You better keep them grades right if you want to go to school. If not, afterwards you got to have something. You ain't gonna be able to just your mama, especially in the hood, and my people's, black people. The mamas don't play that. And the daddies, once you hit 18, you got to become a man. Like they're not gonna let you just sit around and not do nothing.
Yep. No,
So I tell them like you can be on the streets or you can go do right and get your life right.
right,
So
right. And
yeah,
we saw that kind of in the movie with The Blind Side. And then I was chuckling there a bit about, just like I know when my with my son playing hockey, my daughter now has just made club volleyball. Like we have to
right.
sign, you have to be. I'm paraphrasing. You have to be a good parent watching. You can't be like, okay, uh,
Oh my
you,
god.
you got to be here. Like no, like, they're just kids.
Yeah, like relax.
Like sure, do we want to? It's a lesson I learned about 5 years ago. No, I'm kidding, but it is what it is, right? Like.
Yeah. Give my son the ball. Why my son ain't getting the ball? You're a favoritism over my son. Like your son's 8. Relax.
Yeah, we always think like that's in the hockey world in Canada, but that definitely has to be in the U.S. That has to be
Oh man.
percolating in the football world and everything else. And um, I'm not naive to that fact.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It gets crazy sometimes, but it's worth it. It's worth it to teach, to teach them and put it in their mind something else besides sports. Even if you're the best of the best,
Yeah,
sooner or later it's gonna end. You're 30 some years old, it's gonna end. What you gonna do for those next 30, 40, 50 years you get to live?
that's exactly it, right? So,
Right.
I got to ask about your dad. So your dad
Uh
was in the minor leagues with the Yankees and the Twins, and again, how did
Mets.
he
Mets
and
and
the Mets?
Twins.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Soto country.
Yeah, yeah.
The '86 Mets. Well, I mean that's when they won the World Series. Again, can't trust Wikipedia totally. So how did that? How did that kind of play? Did you meet anyone through that? Any famous baseball players through that?
I was real young at the time,
Mhm.
but I can remember he knows everybody. He knew all the big time people. So you met a lot of them, like Hank Aaron and all those guys. You met a lot of those guys. But I was real young at the time. But I do remember like because he got all the way to AAA. He got all the way to AAA, and he was gonna go. He was just that step away from being in the major leagues, but he chose his family over baseball. So he ended up coming home. He stopped playing baseball and ended up coming home.
Hmm.
But I remember being younger, and he would have tickets to all the games. He would have like Padre tickets, Charger tickets, Clippers. That's when the Clippers were here, the Clipper tickets, and he would always know the players. So like after the games, you got to meet like Ozzie Smith and Gary Templeton and Dave Winfield. And you go to the Charger games, you'll get to meet like
Ganfeld.
Lionel James, what's it called, Little Train James, and Gary Anderson and all them guys. You would get to meet those guys. And then like baseball, he knew every scout. Like when I was getting scouted, because I played baseball like 4 years
Yes, you did. Yeah.
before I even started playing football.
Right.
So he knew all the scouts. Like when they would come to the high school games, they all knew him. He could have, matter of fact, he could have been a scout. When I was in high school, they used to beg him to be a scout. But he was just too much traveling. He's like, man, I don't want to do that. But they used to beg him to be a scout. And then even we had a place called San Diego School of Baseball in San Diego, and he ran San Diego School of Baseball. So he was big time. He was big time. Like everybody knows. Probably today, if he probably went to a baseball game, scouts was there. They'd probably be like, "Hey, what's up, Archie?" He had the
Well,
strongest arm of anybody I ever met. He would pick up. I seen him throw a football 100 yards before.
wow.
He
Great.
could throw the ball from the fence of baseball. I seen him play baseball, get the ball at the fence, and throw it all the way to home plate, no bounce. He had the strongest arm I've ever seen in my life.
That's, oh, that's good. That
And he
is.
was a great hitter. Like he played when we were younger. He played. He played like in the grown up leagues, and he would bring home the home run derby, the home run king trophy every year with big old trophies all over the house because he was hit so many home runs. And then my friends used to always challenge him. And he'd be like, I'll strike you out, I'll strike you out. Man, it was guys who made it to the major leagues who used to try to strike him out and stuff. He would hit the ball across the canyon.
Yeah, are we talking about the Padres from '84 that made it to the World Series? Is that
Yeah,
your
he's
era?
he used to be there, and then I'm talking about like even before that, like low 80s, because I was 74, so
Yeah.
by the time I was 6 and 80, we were everywhere. Like he had all the free tickets to everywhere, so we got to meet all the players. We'll be sitting out there waiting for them to drive out the tunnel, and they would stop and give us autographs and everything. Like he knew everybody.
Oh wow, that's it kind of we all know about Patrick Mahomes Jr. with his
Right,
father pitching in the majors and kind of growing up in that atmosphere. So that's why I asked that question, just that influence again. I'm more on the baseball side of things, but
right, right.
I mean, it sounds like he was an awesome influence in your life, Archie.
Yeah, then he. That's another reason why we coach too, because him and my uncle Clarence both coached at Skyline. And then my uncle Lloyd, Coach Johnson, got my dad and Uncle Clarence to coach. So that's how they got started. He coached with them the first year, then they went and did their own thing.
Yeah.
But if you ask anybody around San Diego, my dad and my uncle are known to be the best coaches to coach in youth football in San Diego. They got so many championships. Like they would win championship damn near every year.
Right.
So now me and my brother are doing what him and my uncles did. So they laid the foundation, and then now we went back, and now we're doing the same thing that they used to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely, they pass it down, and you're passing it forward to the
Right,
next generation. So I mean, that's so good to see, right? And again, things look a bit different than they were many years ago, just with how games are played, right? So, which
right.
brings me to the NFL. Do you think we're on the track of flag football?
I mean, you can't. They're trying to soften it up, but you can't.
Yeah.
Like, you can call all the penalties and all that stuff you want to, but it's always gonna be some guys out there that's just gonna be hitters. So, the game it looks like that because of the All-Star game is what's really making it worse. But the game, I still like watching the game. Like everybody says, getting soft against soft. They still out there hitting just right. Probably hit harder because they're bigger, faster, stronger now.
Yeah.
So the impact is probably a little bit harder. They're not as rough and tough as us because it's just a different era. Our era was just somebody could clothesline you or slam you on your head or horse collar you, and it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah.
So they're taming it down, but it's still physical. Like you can't really stop football from being physical. So I think everything's gonna be all right. There's no way they could do the flag because they'll lose too much money. You see what basketball did in the NBA softened up basketball, and now they're losing viewers.
Yep. Yeah.
So you know how that go. Money talk. So NFL could try, but let them start losing viewers. They'll go back to letting them do what they do.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? They've eliminated the hip tackle. Yeah, again, we saw again. I go back to Super Bowl 42. We saw the pressure of the Giants with Justin Tuck and
Right.
Joe Yusuke Ominora
Yeah.
got on Brady, and then Brady was kind of getting these calls. I mean, Mahomes he got hammered yesterday. He's week to week. They should have ran the ball there or punted it away, but I won't get
Yeah. See, they coming. They gonna
They're
they gonna get
coming,
you
right? So
anyway.
there's just no way.
Yeah.
Again, you know what you sign up for. So I just,
Right.
again,
Just deal with
right?
it.
We all like 48-28, we all like 48-42 scores. Some of us, but I mean,
See, but I don't. I hate when teams can't stop each other. I'll turn it if the team's just going up and down the field.
yeah.
I'm a defensive guy by heart,
Hmm.
so I like those physical games where it's like 2017 and they out there, both defenses out there smacking.
Yeah.
Like them the type of games I like. I don't like those high scoring games. I understand why people probably do because it's exciting, but to me that's boring. I'm like, man, ain't nobody even playing no defense.
Right. If
But
right. Hmm.
yeah, but I think the head to head and all that, I think that had to happen because it was a lot of people getting brain injuries and stuff, and plus we were taught to use our heads as a weapon. and I don't think that's safe. So we teach our kids keep your head out of there. Like we'll stop it if they're using their heads. We'll make them do it over, and we'll stop it. We'll teach. I think that's good to keep the head out of there. But we teach hit as hard as you can. Still, like we teaching that from time they get put on the pass. Hey, your thing is to make that other dude across from you quit. If you can, hit him as hard as you can every play, but just don't use your helmet.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. Teaching it the right way. It doesn't mean
Yeah,
you have to kill the guy.
right,
Like just again, proper technique is in essence what needs to happen here for
right.
that next generation.
Yeah, for
Uh,
yourself and for the other guy,
right.
because you will knock yourself out.
Yep. That's
You see the
exactly.
Bears guy, number 9, he been out for freaking Brisker, been out for like 8 weeks now
Yeah.
from a concussion. So you gotta be safe about it. So I don't mind them cleaning it up, but man, if you look at every football game, there's somebody out there getting hammered every game.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs guy got he got a knee to the head yesterday, but I mean, there was nothing you could do there, right? So, um,
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
the
It's
Dolphins
football. It's a
guy
gladiator
got hammered.
sport.
Totally.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment in your CFL career where you got hammered and just kind of thought, okay, that was okay.
Oh man, it was one time I got knocked out with the arm in the air, everything against Montreal. We're at Montreal, and I can't remember they had this big old safety. He was like 6'2", like 20 pounds. But I just told Danny McManus, I said, Danny, I said, we call him D-Mac. D-Mac, the guy is coming across flat. So when we throw this bomb, when we throw this go route, throw it high and deep and let me run to it. Don't throw it in a book. Like if you throw it straight and hard, he's gonna come across and he's gonna catch me. I said, so throw it high and deep because he was known he didn't take deep angles. So like he can't come straight across and then go back. It's impossible. And Danny Mac threw it in the things, bullet anyway. And man, I seen it coming. I tried to slide under him, and he hit me in my damn ear hole. And my arm was up in the air, and they was around me celebrating because that was like voted like the most hated offensive player like 2 years in a row. Because I used to go out there, and if I caught you slipping, I was get they remember defensive players ain't used to getting hit, so I would catch them slipping and be decleating them, so they couldn't wait to get me. And he hit me, and they was around me celebrating like hyenas. All you heard was all that noise. Ah, yeah, we finally got him. And I was down there, and I can remember because Chris Pusky, who was our trainer, he came out there, and I was laying, I had my eyes closed, and I was laughing. He was like, "Man, what are you laughing at? Like, you just got knocked out, and you out here laughing." I was like, "Pusky, they finally got me, man. They finally got me." And they had me, and I was like, so I finally got up, like I felt my sisters coming back, and I finally got up, and I went to the locker room. This is how crazy we were back in the day.
Mhm.
It was, the rest of the Gatorade bottle, the Gatorade big jug. It was still full. Well, it was like a little bit of ice water in there, like the bottom part. And I got it and dumped it on myself,
Great.
and went back in the game. And this is the first time I've ever been scared on the football field. I dumped it on the thing, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna get this dude back. Like I'm not leaving here till I get this dude back today. And I can remember trying to get him, and he kept like waiting for me to come. He would jump out the way, and he'd be laughing like he was just like playing with me. And I was like, I couldn't get him. I couldn't like he was playing free safety, so it's already hard enough to get those guys. So I told Marcus Brady they were getting blown out that day. I think we had all kind of injuries and stuff. So I was like, Marcus, the one that coached for the Chargers now. I
Yes.
was like, I was like, Marcus, run the ball. I said, I got to get me somebody back before we leave here. And he was like, all right, bet. I said, just roll. You get the ball, like you're gonna pass it and run left. I said, just at least roll left. Even if you don't run, roll left. He's like, all right. And he did it. And I caught this defensive end. He wasn't looking. And I tore him up. I knocked him clean out. And he rolled to the ground. His mouthpiece was hanging out of his mouth and his eyes rolled back. And I was the first. I went from celebrating to I was like, yeah, I told y'all I was gonna get one of y'all. And I was like, trainer, trainer. That's the first time I've ever been scared. Because dude eyes rolled back and the mouthpiece like Mike Tyson, mouthpiece rolled out his mouth. And that was the first time on the football field I was ever scared.
right?
Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Come get him! Come get him!
Well, that's the thing about football, right? Like we can talk about every single play, like literally, and that's why
Yeah.
with hockey and whatever else, it's always fast flowing. But we go down to certain plays. There was that play where you had for it was an 89-yard touchdown, right? So I mean, again, Wikipedia search helps me with that, but every play has a story. I guess that's my point.
Right. It sure does.
All right. And I mean that's what makes football so epic. Honestly, I mean, since you're in San Diego, I mean, well, Jim Harbaugh there in the AFC Championship game versus the Steelers on that Hail Mary play, right?
Oh man.
Again, a bad memory, sorry. But I mean, and the Chargers did make it to the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 29. But yeah, still I guess one last thing here before we go. Do you see the NFL returning to San Diego, or is that too much of a
um
hot topic?
no, it was because I'm not a Charger fan, but it was a hometown. That broke the city's heart to lose that team
Mhm.
because to me all they had to do was the Chargers and San Diego State should have came together.
Right.
Because after they left, San Diego State built their own stadium in the same spot where the Charger Stadium was.
Yeah.
So they should have. I thought they should have came together. They should have built a stadium for both, and the Chargers should have stayed. And I think the Chargers know that too because they're not. Yeah, they're second fiddle in LA. They
Mhm.
really don't have no fans. Like if you go to a Charger game in LA, it's gonna be more of the other team fans than Charger fans. So I just, I wanted a pro team. I still want a pro team here, but it's gonna be hard because it's already so expensive here, and they want the city to help take care of the price of the stadium, and it's already hard enough for us to live here. So it's like, shoot, man, you a billionaire, we not. You better take care of your own.
Yes, some of these owners. I mean, you look at the Rams owner. I mean, shoot, he owns Walmart. You look at Arthur
Right.
Blank, who owns Home Depot. I mean, this is just
Yeah. Like you're worth 170 billion, and you want somebody that makes 70,000 to pay for your stadium. Like, no.
right. Clark Hunt's in the same boat. I'm not biased at all. Clark Hunt. Are they going to move to Topeka? I don't know. Like,
Right, right.
figure it out
Figure it out.
and take the road. Like it's ludicrous, honestly. So,
Yeah. Like, how you
uh,
gonna want us to pay for it? You the billionaire.
yeah.
Like that makes no sense. But that right there, I mean, hopefully they do, because it's not the same. It's not the same that having a football team in your city, and I'm sure the restaurants and stuff feel that too.
Mm,
Because I'm sure they make a lot more. But the Padres have a nice. Their stadium is nice, nice.
yeah.
So they were smart enough to build them their own stadium downtown. It's nice. And then San Diego State built their own stadium, which is nice. So we still have football here, but it's not the same without a pro team.
Right. I mean, yeah, totally. Right. You talk about San Diego State. I mean, I can't help but think of Marshall Falk, who came from San
Right.
Diego State, and again, the Padres have done it well. I mean, I think they're a hot ticket item.
Yeah. They changed ownership. That's the key. You gotta have a good owner in sports that don't mind treating their players a certain way.
Right.
You can't be an owner, and I think this is what's wrong with the Bears. Is the owner's 100 years old.
Hmm.
The They don't really care about winning, and I know why now, because when I went to the San Francisco 49ers game to watch the Bears, I've never seen so many fans. It is Bear fans everywhere, and they're from head to toe Bear gear.
Yeah.
So they make so much money. We could be 2-15, and they're gonna make $1 billion that year
Yep.
because they just have loyal fan base. So if you're an owner, you're like, I can put out any product that I want, and I'm gonna still make money. It's no pressure on them.
Yep.
So like the fans, what has to happen to those kind of organizations? The fans got to say we're not coming no more
Right.
until you put something out there worth it. We're not coming no more. And they start having 20,000 people in the stands. Then I bet they get their act together.
Yeah. I mean, no question, right? But you go down the list. You have Gale Sayers. You had Buckus, the
Right,
Prairie, Peyton.
right,
Like there's a rich lineage with the
Mm-hmm.
Bears, and for it not to translate now.
It
I
makes no
mean,
sense.
right? A good Rex, bad Rex. It's all Aikman and Buck were talking about in 2000.
Yeah, like damn, man, like you gotta, football sports, you gotta, especially nowadays, these kids are about what they call it swag. They're about swag and they're about like being treated a certain type of way. They're spoiled,
Yeah.
so you can't bring a spoiled kid in and treat them like anything. They're gonna be like, no, I ain't going for that. I'll go play somewhere else. That's gonna treat me better. And that's why Kansas City and places like that keep winning because they treat their players right. And
That's
then if and
it.
they have a great GM, they have a great coach, so they can lose people like Hill and they can lose all their receivers and still be good every year, or lose their defenders and still be good every year because they run a good system. They
Hmm.
treat their players right, and people know if I go here, I'm gonna win.
Yeah, like Ladarius Sneed was traded in the offseason. They had to do it to create more cap space, and
Exactly.
they just carry on. And no,
Every
nobody in
year.
the national media is talking about Ladarius Sneed.
Exactly.
Period. And he had one of the biggest plays in that championship game. But it's just
Exactly.
okay, tickety boo, here we go. And we saw Trent McDuffie with the interception yesterday. So
Yeah, like next up.
yeah, next up,
Next. Yeah,
let's
you got a
go.
good GM and you got a
Yeah.
good owner and a good coach.
Mhm.
It don't matter who come in.
Yeah, that's totally it. So at least they got 3 games here in 11 days. So I'm a bit worried, but
We do too. Like I was like, whoa, we play tonight,
yeah.
and then we play Sunday morning, and then we play Thursday.
Yes, you guys play the Seahawks on the 26th.
Yeah, so we got 3 games coming up, bam, 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 within the next week.
Yeah, that
Yep,
is
Sunday. I
wild.
mean, Monday night, Sunday
Yeah.
morning, Thursday night.
Yeah, that is wild. That is crazy. So I guess they're not going through too many time zones. We'll be on 2 central time zones. Is the game on Sunday in central time zone?
I think we play.
And quickly
I'm
look.
not sure. I'm not sure where the games are at. I know we play tonight on the road.
Road, Minnesota, and
And I
then you're
think
at home on the
one is at home Thursday. No, Sunday morning. I think is at home. I'm not sure. I would have to look at the schedule. I
yeah,
go game to game.
yeah. uh,
I'm just sick. The season's already about to be over. Like, dang, football's already over.
it goes fast. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh wow, like even the CFL season, you blink and it's over. But
Yeah, it's over. You're like, dang, not what I'm gonna watch.
yeah, yeah. So they play the Lions at home coming up. So yeah, that's on the 22nd.
Yeah, it's bam, 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 and it's over.
That it is. So any final thoughts here before we go, Archie?
No, I pretty much tapped in everything. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
And
always nice to talk old stories.
yes,
These kids don't want to hear that. They be like, yeah, whatever, coach. They always they be like, think I'm lying. They be like, man, you didn't play no football. Cause the kids nowadays, they be like 10 years old and it'd be my height.
right.
so so now, sometimes I'd be like, I gotta pull up the YouTube on them. Be like, oh yeah, well here, go watch this then. And then they have more respect because they be like, oh shoot, you did play, you were good. I'd be like, yeah, exactly.
Well,
Like now listen.
I know you ripped the Bombers, I think in 2004, and I think it was game 2 of our season, which led to Dave Ritchie's dismissal from the Bombers eventually in August. But
They
maybe
always had good games against the Bombers. It
yeah,
was always fun playing them.
right. You always had, yeah, yes, you always had a job to do. And this is the thing. I was a kid. I'm 45 now, and I mean there's a 5 year gap here, but
Right, right.
I was a guy that always watched you guys in the stands, and I love hearing your stories. I think it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah,
And
it was fun. I love the CFL, man.
yeah.
That was so fun.
Yeah, and I mean whatever goes beyond. So I'm
Right.
gonna post this interview after we get off here. I'm gonna convert it. And then
Okay.
if you want to share it on your Facebook, Archie,
Oh, I got you. Just send
you
it
do
to me.
that. Yeah, for sure. So I'll post it on the page, and then I can inbox you as well, and
Okay.
you can share away, and I'll
Yeah, I
send you
got
my
you. I
address there
definitely would share it.
for that football card as well.
No, I got, yeah. Send me the address.
Yeah, definitely. But as I said when we opened here, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as well.
All right, thank you, man. Back at you.
Appreciate it. And we can do this again sometime if you want.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay, good deal.
All right,
Here.
later.
All righty. Bye bye.